It was a bright morning. The sun was shining, and the air was fresh. People were coming and going in front of the famous Grand Royal Hotel. Expensive cars were stopping. Rich guests were entering with pride. Staff members were opening doors and smiling wide. In the middle of this busy scene, a young woman stood quietly. Her name was Maya. She wore a simple blue dress and carried an old handbag. Her shoes were clean but cheap. She looked around nervously, holding her bag tightly. Maya walked towards the big glass door, but before she could enter, a tall security guard stepped in front of her. He looked at her from head to toe with disgust. "Stop. Where do you think you're going?" he said in a rude voice. Maya smiled politely. "I have a meeting inside," she said softly. The guard laughed. Some people standing nearby also laughed. "Meeting? Here? Are you joking? This place is not for beggars," the guard said loudly. His words hurt Maya deeply, but she stayed calm. Her hands trembled a little, but her face stayed strong. "I have an appointment," Maya said again, trying to stay firm. The guard crossed his arms and shook his head. "We don't allow people like you here. Go away before I call the police," he threatened. Other guests in beautiful clothes walked past her. No one looked at her. Some gave her dirty looks. Some whispered to each other, laughing at her. Maya felt small, but she didn't leave. She just stood there, quietly, like a mountain facing a storm. Behind the glass doors, the hotel receptionist noticed the scene. She laughed with her coworkers. "Some poor girl trying to sneak in," she said. They watched the security guard treat Maya badly, but no one came to help. Maya took a deep breath. Her heart was beating fast. She slowly reached into her bag and pulled out her phone. Her fingers shook a little as she dialed a number. The phone rang once, twice. Maya looked up at the guard, who was still glaring at her like she was trash. Then someone answered the call. Maya said just 3 words in a low voice. "I'm outside now." The person on the other side didn't ask any questions. He only said, "Wait right there. I'm coming." Maya ended the call and put the phone back in her bag. She didn't say anything to the guard. She didn't argue. She just stood still, with a strange calmness in her eyes. The security guard kept mocking her. "Who did you call, huh? Your street friends? We'll see how far you get." Inside, the receptionist called over a manager. "There's a poor girl outside causing trouble," she said. The manager, a short man with a proud smile, walked towards the glass door to see. He shook his head when he saw Maya. "Why do these people even come here?" he said loudly. Maya heard everything, but she didn't react. She just waited. 5 minutes passed. 6 minutes. The staff laughed and whispered. A small group of hotel workers gathered behind the glass, pointing and giggling at her. Some guests watched with confused faces. Some even took videos on their phones, thinking it was funny. But Maya didn't move. Suddenly, there was a loud noise at the entrance. A black luxury car, shining like a diamond under the sun, stopped right in front of the hotel. It was a car only billionaires could afford. The door opened slowly. Out stepped a tall man in a black suit. His face was serious. His watch sparkled. His shoes were shining. He looked like a powerful businessman. The man didn't look at anyone else. His eyes searched quickly, and when he saw Maya standing at the gate, he smiled warmly. Everyone fell silent. The security guard's face turned white. The manager stepped back. The receptionist gasped loudly. The man walked straight towards Maya with long, confident steps. Without caring about anyone watching, he hugged Maya tightly. "My little girl," he said warmly. The hotel workers' jaws dropped. The laughing stopped. The whispers died. The man turned his head slowly towards the guard and said in a cold, serious voice, "You just made the biggest mistake of your life." Maya smiled softly for the first time that morning. But this was just the beginning. Something big was about to happen. something that would shake the whole hotel to its core. The black car stood shining under the bright sun. People around the hotel whispered in shock. No one understood what was happening. A few minutes ago, they were laughing at Maya. Now they were too scared to even breathe loudly. The tall man who hugged Maya was not just rich. He was powerful. His presence made the entire hotel staff feel small and foolish. Maya stepped back and looked up at the man with respect. She said nothing. She didn't need to. Her silent call had already brought a storm. The security guard, who had insulted her, stood frozen. His hands were shaking. The receptionist and the manager stared in horror. Guests who had laughed earlier were now pretending not to look. The tall man placed his hand gently on Maya's shoulder and asked softly, "Did they hurt you?" Maya shook her head. "No," she said quietly. "They just showed me their true faces." The man's eyes turned cold. His jaw tightened. He turned towards the security guard and said, "You should pray today it is your last day here, because after today, you will not work in this city again." The guard opened his mouth to say something, but no words came out. His legs felt weak. His mouth was dry. The tall man turned to Maya again. "Come inside," he said warmly. "This place belongs to you as much as it belongs to me." Maya and the man began walking toward the hotel doors. The staff quickly rushed to open the glass doors for them, bowing low, trying to act polite now. But it was too late. As they entered the hotel lobby, the manager ran forward, forcing a fake smile. "Sir, please forgive us," he stammered. "It was a misunderstanding." The man stopped and looked at him sharply. "Is it a misunderstanding to judge someone by their clothes?" he asked. The manager had no answer. The tall man turned to Maya. "Do you want to stay here or leave?" he asked. Maya thought for a moment. Then she said, "I want to stay, but not quietly." The man nodded with pride. "Then we will do it your way," he said. Maya pulled out her phone again. This time, she dialed a different number. Her hands were steady now. She spoke clearly into the phone. "Come to Grand Royal Hotel. Bring everyone." The person on the other side answered, "Yes, Miss Maya," without any hesitation. The hotel lobby buzzed with nervous energy. Workers whispered to each other. Some were already calling their families, scared of what was about to happen. The security guard who had insulted Maya tried to slip away quietly. But the man noticed. "Stay right there," he commanded loudly. His voice echoed across the marble walls. The guard froze in his tracks. Meanwhile, Maya and the man sat down on the grand golden sofa in the center of the lobby. It was the same lobby where she had been insulted just minutes ago. Now she sat there like a queen. The receptionist tried to smile at her, but Maya looked away. Minutes later, expensive cars started arriving outside the hotel. One by one, important-looking people entered. Lawyers, media people, and business partners. Camera crews rushed inside, setting up their equipment. The manager wiped his forehead with a handkerchief. He was sweating heavily now. "Sir, please," he begged. "Let's talk in private." The tall man ignored him. Soon, the lobby was full of reporters, flashing cameras, and curious guests. Maya stood up slowly. Every eye turned towards her. Every whisper stopped. There was complete silence. Maya looked calm but strong. She wasn't the scared girl from earlier. She picked up a microphone. "My name is Maya," she began. "I came here today dressed simply because I wanted to see how people would treat someone they thought was less important." The crowd listened carefully. No one dared interrupt. Maya continued, "In this hotel, respect is not given to a human being. It is given to clothes, cars, and jewelry. Today, the people here judged me because I looked poor. They laughed. They insulted. They treated me like trash." Her voice was steady but emotional. Some guests looked guilty. Some hotel staff looked down at the floor. "But let me tell you," Maya said louder, "your respect for someone should never depend on their appearance. Because the person you look down on today may be the person who owns the ground you stand on tomorrow." The tall man standing behind her smiled proudly. Maya finished her speech. From today, this hotel will have new rules. Every guest, no matter how they dress, no matter how they look, will be treated with respect, or there will be consequences. The reporters clapped. Some guests clapped too. The manager and security guard looked like they might faint. Maya stepped down, gave a soft smile to the cameras, and sat back on the golden sofa. Outside, the video of her speech started spreading like wildfire on social media. But inside the hotel, something bigger was happening. Maya was just getting started. The real lesson had only begun. The hotel lobby was full of noise, camera flashes, reporters asking questions, guests murmuring in shock. But for Maya, everything felt strangely quiet. She sat calmly on the golden sofa, watching the chaos unfold. The tall man, her father, stood behind her like a silent protector. His eyes stayed cold, warning anyone who dared to come closer without permission. The manager and the security guard stood near the entrance, frozen like statues. They whispered nervously to each other, wondering if they would lose their jobs today. Meanwhile, behind Maya's back, the real drama had started. Some hotel staff had moved to a corner, away from the cameras. They gathered in a small group, whispering quickly and looking guilty. "Did you see how she turned everything around?" One of the waiters said in a low voice. "I thought she was just a poor girl," another whispered. "Who knew she was the owner's daughter?" "She played us all," a third added, anger in his tone. "She tricked us on purpose." Their words were sharp, bitter, and full of jealousy. Even after knowing the truth, they couldn't accept that they had been wrong. Maya could not hear their words clearly, but she could feel their stares burning into her back. She could feel the weight of their hatred, their wounded pride. But she stayed calm. The receptionist, who had laughed at her earlier, was now trembling. She turned to the others and whispered harshly, "Maybe if we say we didn't know, maybe we can save our jobs." The assistant manager nodded quickly. "Yes, we'll say it was all a misunderstanding," he said. "We'll blame the security guard. He was rude first." The security guard heard them. His face turned red with anger. He took a step towards them, but stopped himself. Everyone was only thinking about saving themselves. No one cared about right or wrong anymore. On the other side of the lobby, reporters were still asking Maya questions. "Miss Maya, how do you feel now?" one reporter asked. Maya smiled gently. "I feel strong," she said, "because today I spoke up not just for myself, but for every person who was ever judged unfairly." Her words touched many hearts. Even some guests who had looked down on her earlier now looked at her with respect. But the whispers behind her continued. One of the kitchen staff, a young boy named Arjun, was standing silently near the wall. He had seen everything. Unlike the others, he felt guilty, deeply guilty. He had not laughed at Maya, but he had stayed silent when others insulted her. His heart hurt now. Arjun whispered to the cleaner next to him, "She deserved better. We all should have stood with her." The cleaner nodded sadly. Meanwhile, the manager and the receptionist quickly planned their next move. They whispered urgently, "We'll apologize publicly. We'll show we are sorry. Maybe the boss will forgive us." But deep inside, they were not sorry. They were only scared of losing their jobs, their salaries, their comfortable lives. Maya stood up slowly. The cameras followed her every move. She turned to face the staff directly. "I know what you are whispering," Maya said, her voice calm but powerful. "I know some of you are still angry because you got caught, not because you understand your mistake." The staff looked at each other, shocked and scared. "I didn't come here to destroy your lives," Maya said. "I came to open your eyes." Her father stepped forward and added, "And from today, there will be no place in this company for anyone who believes respect should be sold to the highest bidder." The staff gulped in fear. Maya pointed gently towards Arjun, the young kitchen boy. "But I also saw kindness. I saw those who stayed silent because they were afraid. I saw those who now realized their mistake. Arjun's eyes filled with tears. He looked down, ashamed but grateful. Maya continued, "Everyone deserves a second chance, but only if they truly change." The manager and receptionist quickly fell to their knees. "Please, Miss Maya, please forgive us," they cried. Maya looked at them for a long moment. Then she said, "Forgiveness is not given by words. It is earned by actions." The entire lobby stayed silent. Outside, the video of Maya's speech had already started trending. People from all over the world were commenting, praising her bravery and kindness. Inside, the real battle had just begun. The battle between true change and fake apologies. Maya knew it would not be easy. But she was ready. This was just the first step toward building a place where respect was not bought by money, but given freely to every human being. And Maya had just taken that step. The hotel lobby was still heavy with tension. Maya stood tall in the center, surrounded by cameras and flashing lights. Some hotel staff still whispered nervously behind her. Some looked ashamed. Some looked angry. But no one dared to move without her permission. Outside, the street was getting busier. Black cars kept arriving, one after another. Big men in dark suits and sunglasses stepped out. Their faces were serious. Their steps were quick. These were not ordinary guests. They were important people, partners, investors, and close friends of Maya's father. Their arrival changed the whole mood of the hotel. The guests who had laughed earlier now stood quietly in corners, pretending to check their phones. Some even tried to hide their faces from the cameras. Inside the hotel, the general manager, Mr. Kapoor, finally arrived. He had been called urgently after the news of the incident reached him. Mr. Kapoor was a tall, thin man with gray hair and sharp eyes. He wore a perfect black suit, but his face was full of worry. As soon as he entered, he saw the chaos. Reporters, cameras, angry staff, frightened guests, and at the center, Maya standing like a queen. He walked straight toward Maya's father and bowed slightly. "Sir, please accept my deepest apologies," he said, his voice shaking. Maya's father looked at him coldly but said nothing. He waited for Maya to speak. Maya took a step forward. "You're late, Mr. Kapoor," she said calmly. "The damage is already done." Mr. Kapoor's face turned red. He opened his mouth to explain, but Maya raised her hand. "I don't want to hear excuses," she said. "I want solutions." The reporters caught every word. Mr. Kapoor nodded quickly. "Of course, Miss Maya. We will immediately suspend the staff involved. We will hold a meeting. We will improve the training." Maya smiled a little, but it was not a kind smile. "Training," she repeated slowly. "Is respect something you can teach in a 2-hour meeting?" Mr. Kapoor looked helpless. His hands twisted nervously. Maya continued, her voice stronger. "You can't teach respect. You have to believe in it." The lobby fell silent again. At that moment, a very special car pulled up outside, a long silver limousine. It was longer, bigger, and shinier than all the other cars. Everyone turned to look. Out of the car stepped a woman in a white dress. She wore no jewelry, no makeup, but still looked elegant and powerful. Her face was kind but firm. She carried an air of respect around her, like a warm but strong breeze. It was Mrs. Sinha, a famous human rights leader, and an old family friend of Maya's father. As Mrs. Sinha entered the hotel, everyone moved aside without being told. Even Mr. Kapoor stepped back respectfully. Mrs. Sinha walked straight to Maya and hugged her gently. "You did well, child," she whispered. "Very well." Maya's eyes filled with tears for the first time that day. But she blinked them away quickly. She was still standing strong. Mrs. Sinha turned to face the reporters. "I was invited here today," she said in a loud, clear voice, "to witness not just an incident, but a lesson." She pointed towards Maya. This young woman has shown more courage in 1 hour than most of us show in a lifetime. The reporters wrote down every word. Mrs. Sinha continued, "We talk about equality, respect, and kindness. But when it truly matters, how many of us remember those values?" She looked around the lobby. Many people looked down, ashamed. But today, Mrs. Sinha said, smiling warmly at Maya, "We remember, thanks to Maya." The applause started slowly, first from the reporters, then from some of the guests, then louder and louder. Even some of the hotel staff, like young Arjun, clapped sincerely. Mr. Kapoor quickly whispered to his assistant, "Prepare an official apology. Full-page ads in the newspaper, donation to charity. Anything. Save the hotel's name." But Maya heard him. She turned sharply towards him. "You still don't understand, do you, Mr. Kapoor?" she said. "You think this is about saving your reputation. It's not." She pointed to her heart. "It's about saving your humanity." Mr. Kapoor had no answer. His mouth opened and closed like a fish out of water. Maya's father finally spoke. His voice was deep and final. "From today, Maya is not just a guest. She will be overseeing all operations of this hotel chain. Anyone who cannot respect every human being equally can leave now." The announcement hit the lobby like a thunderclap. The staff gasped. Some guests clapped louder. Some looked shocked. Maya had not only claimed her respect, she had claimed her rightful place. But deep inside the hotel, in the kitchens and secret rooms, the whispering hadn't stopped. Not everyone was happy about Maya's rise. Jealousy and fear were growing like poison in the dark corners. And very soon, a new storm would come, one even bigger than before. The sun was setting outside the Grand Royal Hotel. The golden light made the building shine beautifully from the outside. But inside, a storm was quietly growing. Maya had just been announced as the new head of operations. Guests clapped, reporters cheered, and many staff members smiled politely. But not everyone was truly happy. Behind the shining smiles, hidden in the shadows, some people were angry. Their pride was hurt. Their ambitions were crushed. And in their hearts, a dangerous idea was taking root. Inside the staff kitchen, away from the cameras and reporters, a secret meeting was happening. 5 people stood close together. The receptionist, the security guard, the assistant manager, and 2 senior waiters. Their faces were tight with anger. "This girl humiliated us," the receptionist hissed. "She made us look like fools in front of the whole world," said the assistant manager, his fists clenched. "And now she wants to boss us around," growled the security guard. "She doesn't deserve this. She tricked us." "But what can we do?" whispered one of the waiters. "She's the owner's daughter now. She's powerful." The receptionist leaned in closer. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "Powerful or not," she said sharply, "everybody has a weakness." The others looked at her, confused but interested. "If we find her weakness," the receptionist continued, "we can make her fall." The assistant manager nodded slowly. "But how?" "We need a plan." The receptionist smiled coldly. "First, we watch her. We follow her. We listen carefully. Everyone has secrets. Even she must have something to hide." The security guard smirked. "And when we find it," he said, "we will make sure she never shows her face here again." The 5 of them agreed. Their hearts were full of jealousy and anger. They had forgotten their fear. Now, they only wanted revenge. Meanwhile, Maya was upstairs in her new office. The room was beautiful. Large glass windows, soft leather chairs, and golden lights. But Maya was not thinking about the luxury. She was thinking about responsibility. She sat at her desk, looking at a notebook full of ideas. "How can I truly change this place?" she wondered. She wanted the Grand Royal Hotel to be a place where every person was respected, rich or poor, young or old. But Maya knew change would not be easy. Just then, Arjun, the young kitchen boy, knocked softly at her door. "Come in," Maya said kindly. Arjun entered nervously, holding a small tray with tea. I just wanted to thank you, Miss Maya, he said, his voice shaking. You gave people like me hope. Maya smiled warmly. No need to thank me, Arjun, she said. We will build this together. Arjun nodded, feeling stronger. But just outside the door, hidden behind the wall, the receptionist stood silently. She had followed Arjun upstairs, pretending to bring papers. She listened carefully, her eyes narrowing. So she trusts the kitchen boy, the receptionist thought. Maybe we can use him later. The seeds of the plan were growing. Later that night, when most of the guests were asleep and the hotel was quiet, the plotting team gathered again in the kitchen. They drew a rough plan on a piece of paper. We will find out where she goes, who she meets, what she likes, what she fears, the assistant manager said. If we cannot find a real secret, said the security guard, we will create one. The receptionist grinned. A small scandal is enough to ruin her image. The waiter laughed softly. And then she will have to leave in shame. They all agreed. From that night onward, the secret plotting began. Every move Maya made was watched. Every word she spoke was listened to. Every step she took was followed. They waited in silence, like snakes hidden in the grass, waiting for the right moment to strike. But Maya had something they did not know. She had faced storms before. She had fought battles bigger than their hatred. And she was ready. The real war had just begun. And it was going to test Maya like never before. Days passed, but the anger inside the secret group only grew stronger. They watched Maya from the shadows. They followed her every step. When she visited the kitchen, when she talked with the cleaning staff, when she smiled at the guests. But Maya gave them nothing. No mistakes. No secrets. The receptionist grew frustrated. We have to act now, she whispered to the others one night. If we wait longer, she will become even stronger. The assistant manager nodded. Yes, we need to create a scandal. Something big. The security guard grinned. I have an idea. They leaned in closer to listen. The next morning, Maya arrived early at the hotel. She liked walking through the lobby before the guests filled it. It gave her time to think. She smiled at the cleaning staff. She checked the flower arrangements. She even helped an old guest find her way to the elevator. Maya believed small acts of kindness built a strong foundation. But today, something felt strange. She noticed staff members whispering and glancing at her as she passed. Some guests looked at her with curiosity, even pity. Maya frowned. What's going on? She thought. Then Mr. Kapoor, the general manager, rushed toward her, sweating and nervous. Miss Maya, he said, panting. There's a situation. Maya stayed calm. What situation? Mr. Kapoor hesitated. You better see for yourself. He led her towards the security room. Inside, a group of staff members were gathered, whispering and pointing at the big screen. Maya's heart dropped when she saw it. On the screen was a security video, showing Maya entering the hotel's charity fund office late at night. In the video, it looked like she was taking something from the safe. Maya stared at the screen, shocked. I was never there at night, she said firmly. Mr. Kapoor looked uncomfortable. But the video shows. It's fake, Maya said sharply. Someone edited it. The receptionist, who had secretly slipped into the room, spoke loudly. Maybe it's not fake. Maybe she thought being the boss's daughter gave her the right to take whatever she wanted. A low murmur spread among the staff. Maya's fists clenched. She could feel the trap closing around her. Who found this video? Maya asked coldly. The security guard stepped forward. I did, he said proudly. I was checking the cameras late last night. Maya looked straight into his eyes. She saw the lie there, shining bright. Mr. Kapoor rubbed his forehead. Miss Maya, until we investigate, it's better if you stay away from operations. It felt like a punch in the chest. They were suspending her, without proof. without truth. Maya nodded slowly. Fine, she said. But remember, the truth always comes out. She walked out of the room with her head held high. But inside, her heart was burning. Later that night, in a secret corner of the hotel, the plotting group celebrated. It worked, the assistant manager said, laughing softly. Now she's out of power, the receptionist said, smiling wickedly. And soon, added the security guard, she will be out of this hotel forever. They clinked their glasses together in the dark, believing they had won. But upstairs in her room, Maya was not broken. She sat at her desk, staring at the fake video again and again. She made notes. She checked details. She remembered small things, like the way the receptionist always appeared near her office, or how the security guard acted strangely that night. Maya's mind was sharp, and her spirit was even sharper. They think they trapped me, she thought. But they forgot one thing. I never give up. She picked up her phone and made a single call. The person on the other side answered immediately. Maya. The voice said warmly. I need your help, Maya said firmly. The voice replied, I'm ready. Maya's eyes gleamed with new fire. The trap had been set against her. But now she was about to set her own trap, one that would catch the real snakes hiding behind fake smiles. And this time, there would be no mercy. 2 days passed. The Grand Royal Hotel looked normal from outside. Guests enjoyed their stay. Staff smiled at everyone. But under the surface, a battle was about to explode. Maya had stayed silent after her suspension. She didn't argue. She didn't fight back. At least, not openly. The plotting group grew overconfident. The receptionist laughed louder. The security guard strutted around like a hero. The assistant manager already started dreaming of Maya's office chair. They thought Maya was finished. But they didn't know. Maya was only waiting for the right moment to strike. On the third morning, a major event was scheduled at the hotel. Important investors were coming. Big celebrities were expected too. Reporters lined up outside once again. Inside the main hall, Mr. Kapoor looked stressed but excited. He believed this event could save the hotel's damaged reputation. The hall sparkled with lights. Musicians played soft music. Beautiful decorations covered the walls. The plotting group whispered in a corner. Today will be her final humiliation, said the receptionist, smirking. But just as the event was about to begin, the large front doors of the hotel opened wide. And in walked Maya. She wore a simple white dress, no makeup, no jewelry, just pure confidence. For a moment, the whole hall went silent. All eyes turned towards her. Maya didn't flinch. She walked straight to the center of the room, holding a USB drive in her hand. Mr. Kapoor rushed toward her, red-faced. Miss Maya, you are not supposed to. Maya raised her hand calmly. Please, she said, let the truth speak today. Without waiting for permission, Maya walked to the main projector and plugged in the USB. The big screen behind the stage flickered. Everyone watched, holding their breath. First, the fake video played. The same one showing Maya taking money from the charity safe. Some guests and investors frowned. Mr. Kapoor looked proud. He thought Maya was making a fool of herself. But then, Maya clicked another file. A second video appeared. This one showed something very different. It showed the receptionist, the security guard, and the assistant manager sneaking into the security room late at night. It showed them editing the footage, cutting clips, pasting parts, creating the fake video. The whole crime was caught, frame by frame. Gasps filled the room. Guests whispered loudly. Investors looked shocked. Reporters' cameras flashed wildly. Maya's voice rang out across the hall. Truth cannot be hidden forever. She pointed towards the plotting group, who now stood frozen, their faces pale. I trusted this hotel, Maya said. I trusted its people. But jealousy and hate tried to destroy not just me, but everything this hotel stands for. The security guard tried to run, But two official guards blocked his way. The receptionist burst into tears. The assistant manager hung his head in shame. Mr. Kapoor looked like he would faint. Maya turned towards him. "And you," she said sharply. "You believed lies without proof. You suspended me without investigation." Mr. Kapoor opened his mouth to apologize, but Maya had already turned away. The owner of the hotel chain, Maya's father, stepped onto the stage. He looked serious, almost royal. "I built this hotel with my blood and sweat," he said loudly. "And today, I am giving full control of the Grand Royal Hotel to Maya." He paused. "She has earned it, not because she is my daughter, but because she is the only one brave enough to stand for what is right." The hall exploded in applause. Tears filled Maya's eyes, but she smiled bravely. By evening, the receptionist, security guard, and assistant manager were arrested. They were charged with fraud and defamation. Mr. Kapoor was asked to resign immediately. The hotel began a complete change. New policies were written. New training was given. Respect and kindness were no longer just words on paper. They became the heart of the hotel. Maya led every meeting, talked to every staff member, listened to every complaint. Guests noticed the change quickly. The Grand Royal Hotel soon became famous, not just for its beauty, but for its warmth. Maya often walked through the lobby, smiling, greeting everyone by name, from the kitchen boys to the VIP guests. She had not just won back her respect. She had transformed an entire world. One evening, as the sun set behind the golden windows of the hotel, Maya stood on the balcony, watching the sky. Arjun, the young kitchen boy, came and stood beside her. "You did it, Miss Maya," he said softly. Maya smiled. "No, Arjun. We did it. Together." The sky turned deep orange and pink. A new beginning. And in Maya's heart, there was no hate, no anger, only peace. Because she knew, the real victory is not in fighting others. The real victory is in fighting for what is right.